My name is Cassie and I'm the founder of Fatco, where we use these guys to make this stuff. Let me explain. At Fatco, we specialize in making natural and organic skin and body care products, many of which contain tallow. It's nutrient dense and healing. It's extremely high in vitamins A, D, K, and E, all super important for skin health. It's natural, it's healthy, and it's sustainable.
That people are saying, oh yeah, when you're finals MVP, you are now the best player on the planet. To me, that makes no sense whatsoever. I don't care if it's a week, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? LeBron James. That's who y'all gotta start appreciating. And you gotta stop disrespecting this man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Prideful Takes podcast. It is your boy Pride, the ugliest motherfucker on the internet, and we have a lot in store for you guys. Colin Kaepernick, is he coming back? He has the opportunity. Let's see how well it bodes him. And the Brooklyn Nets do not have any reason right now to give Kyrie Irving an extension. Rosario says Celtics in 7. Bro, you accidentally left a typo. You meant 6. We chilling. We vibing. We don't care. We sweeping Golden State. Maybe I'm going a little too far. I think I went too far. I went way too far, but I got to commit. But before we get into anything, it's been a while since we spoke about wrestling. And one of the hottest topics in all the land in terms of wrestling. They were supposed to be part of a 6-pack challenge to determine Bianca Belair's number 1 contender. And that upset Sasha Banks, which according to rumors, she then, quote, manipulated Naomi into following her lead. But they walked into John Laurinaitis' office, put the belts down, and walked away. They took a sabbatical. On Friday on SmackDown, right before the unification match between RK Bro and the Usos, they had Michael Cole issue a statement. I've never seen Michael Cole look so uncomfortable before. He went forward, though, like a champ, saying how they let everybody down. It's a shame. They're disappointed. They should have known better. All this stuff. Basically, they're giving him the Stone Cold. They're giving Sasha Banks and Naomi the Stone Cold treatment when he took his ball and went home. And there was a smear campaign going on. Now here's a question. Is WWE making a mistake by jumping the gun and, in essence, addressing this on their live broadcast the way they did? Are they making a mistake? Are they jumping the gun? Well, some people do believe that that's what they're doing. And the reason being is because the vibe and the notion going around is that this is basically just WWE pushing these two stars deliberately into the arms of Tony Khan. Now, me personally, I like Sasha Banks. I like Naomi. I think Naomi's basically been super underutilized her entire career. Not even gonna lie. But here's the concern I have. My concern comes down to one thing and one thing only. Are you going to be willing to bring them back? If you're not, do whatever you want. Slander their names. Say how they suck. Do whatever you want. But again, to do this in a women's division that is struggling, I think is the nicest way I could possibly say it, because they have talent. The problem is WWE doesn't know what to do with the women's division. And then AP, you hit it right on the head. WWE is making the women's division a joke. They kind of are. They really are. And they're trying to do it. They're trying. So you can't you can't tell me that, oh, this was an accident. You can't tell me any of that stuff. You simply just cannot. My only problem with this is what I would have done if I was WWE. First of all, keep your mouth shut. Don't bring it up. They should not have brought that up on a SmackDown Live right before you're wrapping up an angle that has been your hottest angle for months. For you to do that is ridiculous. I'm going to put it to you this way. You know something that's being said during the broadcast. You know it's bad. You know it's horrible. You know it's awkward when Pat McAfee doesn't make a little joke. He doesn't have a little zinger. Because I don't know if anyone has noticed it, but every single time, no matter what it is, whether it's a sponsor, whether it's a storyline, whether Michael Cole is fed something, he'll say something, and Pat McAfee has a nice little zinger. This was the first time Pat McAfee didn't. Pat McAfee was just like, just whatever you do, Michael, do not swing it over to me. Do not swing it over to me. Do not swing it over to me. Pure awkwardness. Pure awkwardness. I think right now they're making a mistake in how they're handling it. Now, if Sasha Banks and Naomi were upset with how they were being booked, to each their own. But I will say this. For them to jump the gun like this, that's something that's very concerning. Because them jumping the gun like this makes it seem like that they didn't want them. Which is a shame, because considering how bad, especially how weak the women's tag team division is, where you'll be a tag team for a couple weeks, then you guys break up. You don't believe me? Go look at Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, which I thought they were going to be a long-term thing, but that ended up happening. Or the best spot, like the best way they make teams, they just randomly throw them in a championship contender match like they did with Natalya and Shayna Baszler. You don't even see them. They just, poof, all of a sudden, oh yeah, I guess we're cool now. WWE got to get it together, man. They got to get it together. I understand that, how Sasha Banks and Naomi handled it was not professional. I get that. But as the company, you need to remain professional above all. And you cannot go down this weird, awkward road, because imagine how dumb the company's going to look when they end up having to pay both Sasha and Naomi twice over. They're going to have to double their salary to bring them back. Only put Naomi back on the sideline, and Naomi won't care. Why? Because she's making up a $1 to do absolutely nothing. Shot themselves in the foot. They really did. Completely dumb. 100%. AP says, if WWE was smart, they would have had Naomi join the Bloodline and let her win the belt, so the Bloodline would be the greatest family of WWE. I mean, I wouldn't even be mad. Excuse me. I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad about it. I think that's unique. I think it's interesting. By the way, Yuki says, thoughts on Javon Kinlaw getting into a verbal competition with Grant Cohn? I understand his why he was upset, and when I say why, I'm referring to Kinlaw. I get why he's upset. He just needs to be careful how he says it. And this is what I mean by it. So obviously, Kinlaw, his problem with Cohn was just how Cohn has been, in essence, reporting, how he's been reporting the Niners. He basically feels as if the way he reports them is disrespectful. So this is what this man said, and I'm referring to Kinlaw. Quote, "Stop playing with me. I don't fucking play like that. You don't fucking know me. I'm not the one. My whole family knows what you look like." The reason why I think that's a problem, I need someone to do me a favor. Whenever you guys have a moment, I want you guys to Google Grant Cohn. Google him, please. After you Google him, I want you to go to Google Images. Look at his face. After you look at his face, you'll know what I mean by what I'm about to say. I promise you, this dude, Grant Cohn, I promise you he feels threatened. I promise you. I promise you he doesn't feel safe. I promise you, if he hasn't already said it, he's going to say, "He threatened me. I no longer feel safe." I understand where Kinlaw's coming from, but bro, you gotta be careful, bro. You gotta be careful, because once, especially that last part, "my whole family knows how you look like." Excuse me. That's where it's iffy. That's where it's iffy, bro. By the way, Yuki says, "I sound raspy." AP asked me if I'm good. I am still sick. At this point, I'm just convinced I'm gonna be sick for the rest of my life. Frankie, what it do, baby? Yeah, the Patriots jersey with my number, and then I don't know. Can I show y'all? Hold on. Yeah. You see it? Yeah. That's the custom one. It's got Pride on the back. Let's get it. But yeah, man, look, Cohn, Grant Cohn. I'm telling y'all, man. Just all you gotta do, look up the dude, man. Go to Google Images, Grant Cohn, and you'll see what I mean. I promise you, the dude feels threatened. I promise you, he either already said it, or he's gonna come out and say, when he said his family knows how I look like, that's a threat. I promise you. I promise you. I'm not even trying to be funny when I say that. I'm really not. Really not. But Colin Kaepernick is getting a workout with the Las Vegas Raiders. And a lot of people are getting excited. This brings up, is there a legitimate chance that he will get signed? So first and foremost, let me just get this out the way. I hope he can get signed. I hope. Now, will he? What difference is it going to make? I don't mean that in a mean way, but the last time Colin Kaepernick played in the NFL, the last time was in 2016. I don't know if there's any way you can sell this to me. I don't think there's any way you can pitch this to me, where a guy who last played in 2016 can come back in 2022 and take the job from Derek Carr, who is one of, and I don't care what anybody says, I will fight you for this, who is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't know if that's the way this is going to go. What I think was probably going to end up happening, and if I believe this is the consensus, excuse me, I believe people are going to, there's going to be a movement for him again. I believe the Raiders will sign him, and the Raiders will, in essence, basically have him be their starting quarterback for the preseason. think they'll have Derek Carr maybe go out there for like a series or two, just so that way he's good. And then they'll have Colin Kaepernick go out there and he'll basically play the majority of the time. Then after that, they'll see him and then they'll sit down with him and say, all right, look, you had a feel for everything. How are you feeling? Did it sound good? Everything. Then it's going to be the ultimate decision. Look, Colin, we do want you on the team. We feel like you could bring some type of leadership, of course. You're not starting over Derek Carr. That's the first thing that's going to come out of them. You're not starting over Derek Carr. You're not. You're just not. Are you willing to be a backup? Yes? Okay. Now we're able to go somewhere. That's the only way at this point Colin Kaepernick can truly get into the league, period. He's going to have to be a backup. Because why else would he like what, of all the other teams, let's think. I mean, the Bengals, they got Joe Burrow, so they're good. Chargers, they got Herbert. So now there's two. Never mind the Bills, that's Allen. Like, a lot of these guys already have youngsters at the helm. And even if they're not necessarily young, there are guys they're comfortable with. For instance, the Rams, Matthew Stafford isn't young, but you can still get probably about 4 or 5 more years out of him. And at least he's been playing this entire time. So you have all this stuff where, and again, look, I love Colin Kaepernick. I do. I like him. I think right now, I don't want anybody telling me about, oh, he's not, like, he helped lead his team to a Super Bowl, a run-dominated team. Okay? Like, that was a run-first team, that San Francisco 49ers squad. When they needed him throw, he could throw. Now, I'm not saying that Colin Kaepernick is like a top 3 quarterback. No. But he was an upper half quarterback when he played. Unfortunately, you've been gone for a while. And while you've been gone, not only has the game evolved, but we have quarterbacks who have evolved. Colin Kaepernick at the time, when he was doing this whole dual threat stuff, that was before it was very popular. Now, being dual threat is almost a necessity. It's almost a necessity. The days of you being a dual threat quarterback and you being looked at as revolutionary or special, those days are gone. Those days are gone. Like, at this point, when you have all these other guys who run faster, who throw the ball further, who can throw the ball with more accuracy, you have guys doing all this stuff, and they're younger. Colin Kaepernick, you're fighting an uphill battle, man. An uphill battle you're not going to win. There was a poll that GMs did that they basically went to all 13, and they asked them, we're not going to tell you the names of these guys. We're just going to give you like an example, right? Would you rather have a 32-year-old quarterback who, yeah, got some, he's at his peak, but you probably only have him for about 4 more years? Would you rather go with that guy or go get the 22-year-old who you know nothing about and try to mold him and tell you what best fits your offense. Over half of them said they'll take the 22-year-old. Yuki says, I find it weird that Colin Kaepernick, who was basically blackballed by the NFL and decided to come back, make it make sense. Look, man, I'm going to tell you this right now. The reason why he probably kept fighting, it's probably an ego thing. Look, you tell me I can't do something, I promise you I'll do it. You tell me I can't fly, I'll fly me a tall building. I'll keep jumping. You tell me I can't breathe underwater, I'll slit my neck and get some homemade gills and let's figure it out. You tell me I can't do complicated math equations, E equals MC squared means nothing to me. That's probably what it was. That's probably what it was. That's how it is, man. When you tell somebody they can't do something, 9 times out of 10, they will go, LOL, I'll keep going. You know? I do think there's a legitimate chance that the Raiders sign him. But the ceiling he got, it's just a backup. The only real action I could see him getting in the regular season if he gets signed with the Raiders is either A, Derek Carr gets hurt, or B, the last game of the season means nothing, and they're gonna sit Derek Carr to be on the safe side. It's unfortunate, but and it hurts to say it, but Colin, unfortunately, there's better options. There's better options. Most of the teams out there already have their guy. Not only do they already have their guy, but then the few teams that don't are like the Miami Dolphins and the Eagles of the world, where they got the guy for a year and now they're going to let the reins off and they're going to see if they really got him. And let's say they're not. Well, again, what's hurting you is the fact that, like, you got other guys like Jimmy Garoppolo and Baker Mayfield who are eventually going to be made available. They're going to be eventually made available. It's an unfortunate situation, man. Just know you're not going to start. Yuki says if they put Colin Kaepernick in against my 49ers, we're finna put him in the ground. I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know about that one, but my hatred of the 49ers is well documented. Final topic of the day. This is one that is weird. Everyone on Twitter is like shocked and surprised. And I'm like, huh? Why are you concerned about this? The Brooklyn Nets are unwilling to offer Kyrie Irving a long-term extension due to his injury history and, this is my favorite one, unpredictability. God, I love this country. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, they were trying to get in touch with Kevin Durant to speak to him about this. And ever since the game, they lost the first round of the players to the Boston Celtics, Kevin Durant has not spoken to anybody in the Brooklyn Nets organization. By the way, Yuki says, I don't know why you hate my team. It's just, Yuki, I hate them just because you're a fan. I don't really hate the 49ers, I promise. I don't really hate them. But Kevin Durant has not spoken to anybody in the Brooklyn Nets organization. I just want to address that real quick because some people are like, oh my God, that's a problem. Here's my thing. Is it really a problem? The guy's basically on vacation. Why should he be talking to the Brooklyn Nets right now? Right now. I'm talking about right now. Just a thought. Just throwing it out there. The guy's on vacation. He's set. My guy chilling right now. So just a thought before anyone says, oh God, KD's not talking to them. He's going to leave. Before you get there, just remember, He's on vacation. He's chilling. Back to Kyrie Irving. Excuse me. The Nets clearly are unwilling to give him the extension that he wants. Kyrie Irving has a player option he can opt into. He basically has about a month to decide whether or not he's going to do it. If he passes that month without doing it, then it's basically an opt-out. Now, here's the thing, because this is kind of the funny part about it. The problem right now is that, let's say Kyrie Irving opts out, right? He becomes an unrestricted free agent. He'll be unrestricted free agent. Now, if he becomes like that, now the question is, what do they do with Kevin Durant, right? Because again, Kevin Durant has showed you by himself he can go. He can be able to, take your team pretty far. Showed you that. However, you shouldn't have to rely on him playing 45 minutes in a 40-minute game. If there's a game and there are 50 minutes in that game, you should not expect your best player to play 55 minutes somehow for you to get the win. So they're going to need to make moves. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to. Now, for Brooklyn, it puts them in a weird situation because if he opts in, all they're really doing is pushing this extension up until next year. So I know I said that a weird way, but basically instead of dealing with the extension this year, they're going to have to deal with it next year. And next year, there's no opt-in. So Kyrie Irving can literally just be like, all right, look, I opted in this final year. Now you guys are still kind of confused or whatever the case may be. Because again, the two reasons that they don't want to give it to him is his injury history and his unpredictability. Now, the injury history can't really change, unfortunately. Now, the unpredictability, you can, if he so chooses. Now, for Brooklyn, though, what would happen if Kyrie Irving opts out? Well, if he opts out, you're now in this awkward situation where you need to find out how you can go and get this kid. Well, I can't call KD a kid no more because, he's now a vet. But to get KD some backup, some help, get him a number 2. If I'm Brooklyn, I sign Kyrie Irving to an extension and immediately trade him for Damian Lillard, maybe a Donovan Mitchell type of situation, something like that where you can get a solid guard that you can pair with Kevin Durant. Now, whether or not Brooklyn will do that remains to be seen. But what does this mean for Kyrie Irving? This is the first time that an organization has now looked at Kyrie and said, you can play, but do I really want you? This is the first time that happened. I believe right now Kyrie Irving is in a situation where, and by the way, Kyrie Irving still has plenty of time on the clock in terms of playing basketball. Right? He's not he's not even 30. Right? Like, he's been in the league about 10 years. So it's interesting how before he's even in his, we could say he's in his prime, right? Smack in his prime. It's interesting to see how now, he's in his prime. Again, he's not even washed. He's not like Russell Westbrook. He's not like James Harden. He's not like how Dwayne Wade was looking towards the end of his career. It's not like there's that decline. Right? In terms of points per game, he tied his career high. Now, granted, that doesn't really mean much considering that he didn't even play 30 games, but the point remains, Kyrie Irving can still play. And I don't think anybody is questioning that. I think for Kyrie, what people are questioning is, are you here with us mentally and physically? And if Brooklyn's not going to give you that extension, Kyrie, there's not other teams that are going to give you that extension, that same contract that you want. Not many are going to give that to you unless you can give a guarantee that I got to get it together. If I'm Kyrie, this is what I do. I opt in, and this upcoming year, I play every game available. Look, you're gonna miss games. You're gonna get hurt. That's just, unfortunately, when you start getting injured, you don't get healthier. That's just the unfortunate reality of the situation. So you're probably gonna get hurt, and you're probably gonna miss some games. But if they're for injury, at the bare minimum, you can say, all right, look, yeah, I played 65 games, right? Now, me only playing 65 games, those were because of injuries. And with you guys letting me load manage a little bit, it's not like I disappeared off the face of the planet and nobody could find me. If I'm Kyrie Irving, I opt in this year. And I basically I'm on my best behavior. I'm on my P's and Q's. Cross all my T's, dot all my I's, and I behave the best way imaginable. I do all that with the hopes that my image can be a little more clean. So next year, or the year after next, when I'm a unrestricted free agent, I can go to Brooklyn and say, all right, look, man, I got it together. Or at the bare minimum, I can look at you guys and say, hey, look, I get it. I did some dumb stuff, but I'm trying to do better. Look at this past year. I opted in. I brought my bucket to work. I did my thing. And that's it. So, thank God the Celtics don't got to deal with this Kyrie Irving issue. I'm so glad. I'm glad we did that experiment. We moved on. Oh my God. Imagine if we resigned him. Oh my God. Oh man. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Prideful Takes podcast. Appreciate you guys being here. Follow us on Twitter at Prideful Takes. If there's any news you guys want us to talk about, feel free to tag us in it. Catch us on Facebook at Prideful Takes. And if you don't have a Facebook, we are also on YouTube at Prideful Takes. We go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Visit our website, www.pridefultakes.com. Not only is every episode of the podcast up, but we also have original articles. Check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, the Prideful Takes podcast. If you have an iPhone, just say, hey, Siri, play the Prideful Takes podcast. She'll take care of the rest. And as always, go to www.fatco.com. Use discount code Prideful Takes. Get 15% off for all your organic skin care needs. Appreciate you guys spending some time with me. It is your boy Pride. I'll be back here on Friday to talk more sports. Until then, y'all know what to do. Be safe.
Knew where that was going. That was a great read. Oh, Lillard from the logo. That'll quiet the
2 on the season. 2nd and 1 for the Bills. They handle the rush. Allen looking. End zone.
To Shohei Ohtani. Center field. Let's watch it go.
Did several of those inside low kicks.